And now we have our headline keynote, no less. I think you have walk-on music.
I think it was magic seeing a person that never ever seen anything in her life, visiting my exhibition and describing the inner images that she saw. She could tell how the art looked like by feeling with her fingers. And she could felt the colors and the mood by using her ears. I think it's a difference to visit and look at art in pure daylight or in darkness. But I also think there is no limit for imagination. When I was young, I was a part of a gang that started the biggest rock festival in Sweden. 50,000 people came to Hultsfred, a little village in Småland with about 4,000 inhabitants. The board members were about 15 years old. I remember Van Morrison looked at us and said, "Hey, they're just kids." And we have a motto. In Swedish, we said, "Går det inte, så går det ändå." I tried to different people to translate that to English, but somehow you can say, if it's impossible, it's still possible. My name is Micce Rylander, and I'm an artist, as you can see. I'm a speaker talking about when life changes or you want to change life. And I'm an innovator. I also have an eye disease that's getting me blind. I have my studio in an old power station beside of a waterfall. A few years ago, I started pouring color over the canvas. I was fascinating of the results. It became dreamy and soft, abstract images. It didn't really look like anything. It just felt. And suddenly it happens. The painting is starting to talk to me. And there is a magic moment. I also think think of the abstract art, how many inner images can you create with just one abstract painting? I was curious, so I tried to put some of them out of internet to some art groups, and I get about 50 different suggestions of what my painting are. I think it's wonderful that my first exhibition, I had small messages of what the painting was. And if anybody said that was somebody else, I get angry. No, it's not. It's like this. But I stopped that one. Now I'm just fascinating of getting 50 different suggestions. That's wonderful. Yeah. So the 50 different suggestions, somebody said, there is a light. There is a light. You can't see it, but it's still there. Somebody else said, it's a horse who wants to communicate. Somebody else said, oh, it's a race. And then somebody said, I can see Lucia on the left and the Santa Claus on the right, and in the middle you see a little child turning to each other. Well, you can listen and imagine for yourself.
Number 2. Painting on canvas, portrait format, 40 by 60 centimetres. At first glance the expression is dreamily tranquil, yet there's movement and contrast here that create dynamism and spark the imagination. The palette leans cool with shades of blue, blue-grey and deep blue-black. The background is washed in a medium blue that thins into a sheer, pale field at the upper centre of the image. This brightness is accentuated by a vertical white fissure, like sunlight breaking through a tear in worn fabric. From the base of the painting, 3 slender, dusky bands reach upward in sweeping vertical motions, setting a steady rhythm with a slight drift to the right. The blue-black cores of these strokes are veiled in rising, diffuse mists of dove-grey and smoky blue. Their edges are irregular, and the paint's path has left drips and overlapping tonal shadows that lend movement and depth. The dark field on the left ends in short, upward-leaning fringes. The middle field stands out more sharply, but curves away before it reaches the white fissure, as if drawn off course by the light's force. The field on the right skims along its side as if pressed to the edge, crowned by a bud-like form. The overall impression is understated yet charged, stillness and tension coexisting. In encountering this abstract work, you may feel as though the brush is in your own hand, painting your inner images. What do you see? Audio description by Lotta Swan, read by Leah Hosey.
You see anything? So there it is. As I said, I was getting blind, and I tried to find the different kind of ways to communicate with my art. But we are all different kind of people, and we read different kind of books and listen to different kind of words. And I think we like different kind of words. So I asked, you listen to one audio description made by Lotta Svan, read by Leah Hosey. So I asked 5 writers that use words in different kind of ways. And I asked 3 singers to read and perform the words, just to get a different of how you say it and which word you use and how long and so on. And when you describe abstract art, you can't say what you see, because that's for the viewer to decide. So you have to describe the art that you just listened to, so you can get your own images. And Lotta Svan, that you heard, she said, describing abstract art is like putting words into music. I think it's more challenging and more exciting than describe direct motives. And Johanna Wright, she's a singer and an artist. She read and performed one of my paintings. She let her mom listen, and her mom started crying because she saw so much pictures. And what do you think? Kom igen. Do, do, do. I can't hear. Do I?
Number 6. Painting on canvas in landscape format, 70 times 60 centimeters.
Three. Painting on canvas.
Yeah, this was the first one. The first one. Yeah, back before this. I heard it before. After that one. Okay. I heard it before. Yeah.
Three. Painting on canvas.
It's the next one, and I should talk before. Okay. We have some problems. Yeah. You should have to go to visit and see the original painting on the dew tank afterwards. And I should see, now I should do this again. Do I press the wrong button? I don't know. Can somebody help me? Yeah. That's one. Oh, sorry about. It's all about technicians. I'm an artist, no technicians. But this is quite interesting, and that's why I'm here, actually, because of Canon's new technology. That they They could take, my paintings are translated into tactile outprints that you can feel with your fingers. And that's a new technology that's very exciting. In 4 millimeters height, they can print up to 60 layers. It doesn't sound very much, but if you used to use your fingers to feel, it's a quite magic. And when I tested this in my studio this summer, then I met this girl that tried the Canon technique and listened to the audio description and described the pictures that she saw. I think this is magic. And now it's a sound file time again. Funkar inte. Vill du hjälpa? Ljud efter.
3. Painting on canvas, portrait format 40 by 60 centimeters. Like soft black paw prints on yellow sand, the black paint has bled at the edges and fades in undulating grey, spreading upward toward the top of the canvas. The black stands in sharp contrast to the gently shifting yellow. It is as if the yellow modestly yields to the black. Perhaps it is a detail from a flower's pupil. Perhaps it is an illustration of despair meeting hope. Audio description and read by Young Millington.
There it is. It's up to anyone that see it or listen to it, or I hope this afternoon you also can feel it. You can do that both in lightness and in darkness. Yeah. I think I use you. Yep. Thank you. I created an exhibition I call Into the Black Box because I like everyone to be equal looking at art. So I built a room that's black, and I put art in it, and I put art outside it. So you can both look inside the darkness and outside in the daylight. And you can use the Canon technique by feeling with your fingertips. You can listen by your phone, scan the QR code, and listen to you with your phone. Please use headset, because if everybody doing it in the same time, it will be kind of messy, I think. And it's over here, we built it, finished this morning. And it's a collaboration with Canon and Signal Quality Print Solutions. And now it's a change time. And as you say, this is my finish, my last before lunch picture. As we said, we used Canon's technique to print out my paintings and saw clothes of it, because we have Matilda. She's going at school here, and she did all the clothing. So I call this the artist's coat, and this is the expression dress. We also did a tie, a special tie, and we have a bag. All made by old, good, vad heter tyg? Cotton fabric. So, What the last word, Matilda? Okay, Matilda's here. She's missed about 3 lessons now on his school. So thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Micce. We have about 10, 15 minutes before lunch. So I thought, first of all, since Micce is here, does anybody have any questions for him? And I can see immediately one in the crowd. Do we have the other roving microphone? Oh, it's behind me in time-honored fashion. Yeah, here we go.
Hi, thank you for your very interesting presentation. My name is Colleen, and I teach art and mentor students who are painting. And so I found your descriptions very interesting, the language that people chose to describe them. But I'm also really interested in the gestures that you're making as you're painting. And I'm wondering if you've ever considered recording yourself describing the process of painting, or describing how you're feeling as you're painting, or having somebody else watch while you're painting and describe what they're seeing while you're painting.
Well, that could be a new kind of YouTube channel, I think. What do you think?
I think it would be very interesting, because especially with abstract painting, a lot of times, people are a little bit, I don't know, just curious about like how it comes to be and what is happening behind the scenes. And I think it could be just a really nice addition to the descriptions afterwards.
Yeah. I thought about that. The answer is I don't know. I can't make a plan for when the magic happens. It just happens, but because I'm trying in different kind of ways.
Good point. That's why you have to have a recorder handy all the time, right?
Exactly. And that's a kind of some kind of sopa film. What do you call it? Yeah, but that's nice, because I'm thinking of, I like communication, and I was thinking when I'm doing this, I also like to hear what people think about the art and the listening and the feeling. So I should have a mic to hear what people think when they look. That's my next project, I think. I think about what you're saying. I love the idea.
Excellent. And I think we have a question from Russ down at the front here.
Yeah. Hi. Thanks for your interesting presentation. I think I can share some very similarity to what you went through, because I remember when I had my vision before, I was doing some painting myself, and I used very bright colours because I could still see a little bit. And some of the pictures were quite bright, and people said to me, "Oh God, why are you using all that bright colour?" And I said, "Well, because I can't see it." But I felt some energy by just using your hands and expressing yourself in a different way. And I think it's what we all do. And now I can't see, I haven't been doing painting at all, but it did cross my mind. I think one has to use more textual aspects to get this same sort of sensation. I just wondered if that's the same for you. And how do you decide which colours to use? Is it a question of what you remember before, for example?
Yeah, that's very interesting. For me, it's quite different, because I was working with ads and commercials for about 40 years. I did thousands of images that looks very nice, stylish things and so on. And I'm quite bored of the nice-looking pictures. And I also have the plan for how you make a good picture. because of you wanted this feeling in the end of looking at the picture. You want the customer to feel this or that or so on. And it probably ends in, and therefore you should buy this one. So for me, it's quite a process not have a plan. And that's why I felt this magic moment. I tried to short the presentation, but the magic moment is because if you continuing painting, there will be something that you should recognize. And when I do that all the time. And I said, fuck, I shouldn't. Because I should stop before. And that's hard for me, because I have 40 years, I made these commercial pics. So now I really love a painting that get 50 different names. And I like the audio descriptions to be the same. But it's not easy to describe a picture in the same way do you describe a color for you or for somebody else that can see colors and so on. But I try, and I like that. I don't know if I answered the question, but that's what I feel. Thank you. Well, thank you.
Thank you. And Nazreen?
Yes, I like to follow up from what Ray said and what you have said. And also we have called this event the final event of Muse IT. The idea is that when we do research, we usually finish with some prototypes and that's it, and we move on to something else. The idea here is that we shouldn't really leave off what we have done, and we want the community to take it up and continue with it and do other things. And that's why we were very happy to find Micce and maybe other technologies like the printer that Canon has and other colleagues that are working with us in this project, so that every one of us get inspired for future things that we can do with all of these technologies and how we can bring them together. So Micce and other colleagues have created some installation for us that we can see that are not part of the project, but are very, very attuned to what we have been hoping to do, having these multisensory representations. And I also wonder, from what you have seen from our project now, and hopefully you will see more with the other modalities that we have created in the project, does it inspire you and the rest of you, the community, to do something more? Can it be useful for you? Can it be something to start?
Yes. As you saw, I met Matilda. I heard about all the things she do in this building. I met the people in the dew tank, but outside everything, the pupils, there happen things everywhere. You just have to talk to someone, and it's happen things. I'm a part of a art group for eye disease art workers, and I think we did an exhibition with 120 artworks in Gothenburg, and I think we should do it here next year. So yeah, and I have about 35 other ideas. I can take that later on.
Perfect. Yes. Thank you.
Wonderful.
I didn't say thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. It's our pleasure.
Excellent. Any more questions for Micce before we wrap up? No, doesn't look like it. Wonderful. Everybody's getting a little hungry now and ready for lunch. But Micce, you do have some samples in the dew tank, I think, that we will be able to see this afternoon.
Yep.
Is that right?
A big box.
Excellent. And we do have some representatives from Canon as well. So, and again, I know there are a number of prints that were produced using their processors. So you'll have the opportunity to see more of that technology and what it can produce this afternoon, which will be absolutely brilliant. So, Micce, thank you very much for taking the time to speak to us. It's been brilliant.
Thank you very much.